So I'm here with my son Luke again, and well, we're getting ready to start another brick in the wall lesson. That would be figure 3-68. And Luke, you ready to learn?
Dad.
Yeah, Luke.
We don't need no education.
We don't need no education. Well, here, I'm just going to put another brick in the wall. So what we're going to do here is we're going to cover, basically we're going to draw out this brick pattern here, but we're going to copy and paste using displacement. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to draw a line, once again starting at 0, 0. But here's what I need to do. I need to establish some points here. So let's go ahead and draw a vertical. And I'm going to step this off. I'm going to offset 3.75 here. And the grout line is 0.5, so I'll offset 0.5. And then the large brick is 8, so I'll offset that, 8. And now I want to offset one more time, 0.5. And we're going to offset 3.75. And let's go ahead and finish this up. Let's extend EXTEND here to here. I'm going to now copy this line from this endpoint to here. And so I want to trim this up and make this bottom brick pattern work. So let's go ahead and trim. And I'm going to select only the vertical lines so I can have my grout joints. And I'm going to slide this down just a little bit. Now I need to establish my next grout joint, if you will. And think of these as bricks on a pallet. And what we need to do is we need to take this brick and put it here, or we need to copy it to here. So let's take a peek. Offset 0.5 gives me my grout joint. Now watch here. I'm going to move this line from this endpoint to its old endpoint. And why I did that is if I was to copy this brick to here, this line would be hidden underneath, and when we tried to dimension it, it would be a double line, or if you were doing some NC code or whatnot, it would actually come up with an error because it's a double line or double geometry error. So let's go ahead and now we're going to copy. Now this is why I need to select the base point. I'm going to select the brick. I'm going to select this intersection because it's going to end up right there. Okay? Now, this is pretty cool. I'm not going to copy that. I'm going to get rid of this reference geometry. I'm going to draw a line from the MID, midpoint of here, and I'm just going to draw it up like so. Now, why would I draw that? Because I'm going to use the command mirror. I'm going to mirror this brick, and I'm going to use this endpoint here. I'm going to take F9 off. And see here, F8 is still on, so it'll put that brick anywhere in one of those quadrants. And there we go. So mirror, select what we want to mirror, use this endpoint, and there we go. Now the coolest part about this is we're about 2 lines or about a line and a half from being done. So we'll go ahead and draw we're going to offset now. And I'm going to go ahead now. All that is a piece of reference geometry. Now watch how this works. I know this pattern repeats, so I'm going to copy the whole pattern from this to here. And if you take a peek, it's all done. I'm going to erase this. So let's go ahead now and dimension it quickly. Now we're not going to quite get crazy with this. We're not going to use datum so much. We're going to draw it dimension linear. We need to call out a couple things. Let's call out the grout joint in the X. Let's turn F9 on so it snaps. Now we need to call out these bricks, how big they are. And this is where we're going to stack the dimensions. Dimension linear. This is an architectural drawing, so we can use dimensions stacked. I'm going to come from here to here. Now watch this. I'm going to line up these dimensions. So I'm just going to click that node. See how they perfectly lined up? But this is in the wrong spot, so we know how to do this. We'll click it, move it to the left, and there we go. Now let's go ahead here, dimension linear from this intersection to this intersection, coming back and touching here, which says, hey, line those up. Now all we need to do is dimension the height of one brick and the grout joint in the Y, and we're done. So let's dimension linear quickly here to here. Snap is still on. Now I'm going to stack this dimension one more time. Dimension linear from here to here. This dimension here, this horizontal or the vertical grout joint, the grout joint heading horizontal, but the vertical dimension isn't necessarily completely needed. If you did not put that there, one would assume that this half-inch grout joint is typical both in the Y and in the X. So we're actually going to remove this because it is over-dimensioned by doing that. So there we go. That is all your bricks in the wall.